Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 261. It is Wednesday morning on an extremely dark morning, early morning, and we are just heading out for the day. It's cold outside as well. I was just told on my way out that the high today is going to only be 50. Is that possible? Looks like right now it's 45. Yeah, and the high is going to be 50, so it's going to be like this all day. No chance of rain or any bad weather. I can't really tell, but I think the skies last night were mostly clear. There might be a blanket of clouds now. So anyway, the important thing is that it's a safe drive. Temperature is not terrible. We can live with it. We don't need a coat or anything like that. And we are heading out for the day. Today's going to be a long one. Last night I did that speech, got home, took care of stuff in the house, and didn't get to bed till late, till after midnight. I prefer to go to bed around 10 these days with waking up early. Woke up this morning tired, didn't want to get up. Actually considered staying local just because, it can happen. I mean, you work hard all day, to the casino twice and back to work, office meetings, and then you come home, I prepare a speech, I go to an event, I give a speech, I talk to all the people afterward. It was raining, it was cold, got home, had a bunch of stuff to do around the house, had stuff to do for work, got to bed late, woke up early, and just, back hurts, neck hurts, and don't really want to do anything, but we know that we need to do it. We need to keep moving forward. We need to keep building on what we have, and there's no excuse for not doing it. It's a job. It's just like what we do at work. You have to get up. You have to go to work at a certain time. It just happens to be that we complicate our life and we have more than one job, so we do what we need to do. So right now we are heading out for the day. I've got enough fuel to get maybe halfway to where I need to go, so we'll need to stop early and get some fuel. Then we'll continue our trip, and then before I get to my first stop, I do have a team meeting. I plan on pulling over to start that meeting, but I know that they don't need my input for most of the meeting this time, so I will probably get back on the road again during the meeting, and by the time it's over, there will be a shift change at the casino, so I'll miss the first shift, but I'll have a chance at maybe some blackjack, maybe some poker, maybe some slots, and so we'll go from there. So one step at a time, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back, and I'm actually closing in on my first spot here. I'm like 15 miles away, and I thought I had a meeting today, and I don't know why I thought that, because that meeting is on Friday and today's Wednesday, so whatever. So luckily I don't have a meeting in a few minutes, and we're going to continue on to this first casino. I'm going to hope to get some blackjack in on the first shift now that we have time, and if not, that's fine, and we'll try for the second shift, and if not, that's fine too, and we'll try to make money off slots and poker otherwise. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. You're all caught up, and we'll be at this place in about 15 minutes. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back, and it's okay. I don't know, I guess there's no more highs and no more lows anymore. It's like all like barely any kind of feeling at all anymore. So I go into this place, and I'm looking at slots first, and I'm looking for a long time. I'm not seeing really anybody that I know in there yet. I do find a play, I play it through, and I'm ahead $83. So $83, go around looking at other stuff, go to the tables. I see a play coming up on a table, but it's not quite there yet. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go play some poker, and then I'll come back and see where it's at. So I put myself on the poker list, and I had a voucher I needed to go cash. I go to cash it, I come back, and they're starting the poker table, the Pot Limit Omaha. So I go sit down. I buy in. I buy 1,200 in chips. Eventually sell 100 to somebody at the table. So I had 1,100 in chips and start playing. And like right when we first started, there's a guy comes to the table and he said, they ask him if he has a card, and he says, no, I'm from out of town. I'm only here for today. Don't worry about it. And he's like the most talkative guy you've ever seen. Then he's on the phone forever, and they do a bomb pot to start, and he doesn't want to be part of the bomb pot. He's like, no thanks, I'm good. And then he's like, I'll get in on the next hand. Well, next hand he doesn't put his chip out, and he's the small blind. And so the dealer deals around him, and he's all pissed off, and he's like, didn't I tell you I wanted to get in on the next hand? And what does it mean when I tell you I'm going to get in on the next hand? Why wouldn't you deal me cards when I told you I'm going to get in on the next hand? And I'm like, dude, just stop it. Leave the guy alone. And the dealer was very flustered because he was having trouble with the shuffler, and it was taking forever to get the table open. I guess he doesn't really deal that often. He's an older man, but I guess he's a part-timer. And this guy was just harassing the heck out of him. And then next hand, this guy wins a giant hand. And he's like, well, I guess everything happens for a reason. And he tips the dealer $10. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to be like a butthole about it, you know? So, and then another guy comes to the table, and he owns a company. And this new guy is like asking him all these questions. And he's like doing all these leading questions like, and you run a good company, don't you? And the guy's trying to talk, and this guy's talking over him, because you give good service and you run a good company, people come back to you. You probably don't even know what Google ratings are because your company is so good. And he keeps going on and on and on, and he's genuine. But this other guy's an older man. He doesn't hear very well, and he's trying to understand what the heck he's talking about and doesn't get it. So that guy was a little bit annoying. And then after like 2 or 3 hands, the guy leaves the table because he gets a phone call, and he's gone for 20 minutes, and they eventually move him to another table, and he's really only sat there for 1 hand, and he's only been at the table for like 2 or 3 hands. So I get involved with a couple of pots. One of them I called off. I shouldn't have called. I had 3 pair on the flop. It didn't improve, and the guy had very little on the river. I called him, and he had river at a set. Another one, I had 8876. No, I had 887 something, 2 maybe, and I flopped 887 jack, and I flopped. I had 872 jack, and I was in the big blind, and I flopped 2 8s on the board. It was 884 on the board, so I've got a set of 8s. So I check, the guy bets, I call. Turn comes, I check, the guy bets, and now at this point I'm thinking, well, I called with my set of 8, with my trips, and this guy is still betting. And this guy's kind of a conservative guy, so does he have 2 4s potentially? And then the river comes, and I flip it over, he flips his over, he's got 3 8s with an ace, I have 3 8s with a jack, but I lucked out and rivered a flush. So I won the hand, and he was trying to tell me how wrong I was, the way I played it, and he would have folded right away when someone called him and he had 3 8s, and the person kept on raising and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I've been playing this for like a month. I welcome your feedback. I want to learn from your feedback. I'm not upset that you're telling me stuff, so I'm not too concerned. Don't feel like you're hurting my feelings or anything. So I looked up. A few hands later, I won another decent hand. I looked up, and a friend of mine was there, and it was a good time for an exit. And I'd bought in originally for 300 and added 200 more for a total of 500. My total buy-in was 1100, obviously, but 500 was on the table, and I ended up cashing out at the cashier for $1,483. So I won 83 on the slots and 383 on the Pot Limit Omaha. And while I was there, I ran into a guy from the gaming commission. And I'm like, I walked by him, I'm like, this guy is gaming. And I turned around and I said, excuse me. And he's like, yeah. And I said, I want to run something by you and tell me if I'm totally wrong. I understand. And later on, I found out a friend of mine doesn't trust this guy at all. He's seen him actually playing at this casino, which technically he's not allowed to do because he's from gaming. But I said, you know, I've been coming into this place for about 10 years. Actually, it's been about 5, but they've been there for over 20, so I said 10 years. And I said, you know, I've been playing unrated the whole time, never had any issues or anything. And I said, when they started IDing people at the door, it turns out they started putting me in the system, and I never told them to, and I always told them not to put me in. But when I put the app on my phone and I looked, I'd been getting points all that time, and I'd moved up in the tiers and all this stuff, but it showed a big profit, obviously. I didn't tell them that. I said, but I keep asking them not to put me in. They keep putting me in the system. Do I have a right to refuse being rated? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, you're gaming, aren't you? You should know. He's like, well, let me talk to my boss. He said, how long are you going to be here? I said, probably a couple more hours. I said, I'm going to play some Pot Limit Omaha. And he said, if I come back and talk to you, that means it's something good. But if I don't come back and talk to you, that means it's bad news. Whatever that means. So I go about my business and run into a bunch of people that I knew in there. Too many people. And we were actually standing around, 4 of us in the high limit, and then eventually 4 or 5 of us later on. And I'm like, we probably shouldn't stand right where traffic is, where everyone can see us. So we kind of walked away from there. But after we finished all that stuff, we watched this guy who's a friend of one of these APs playing this machine when it wasn't in range, and we were trying to figure out what he was doing. The only thing we could think of was he was trying to get some points. So he actually chased something you should never chase and hit it for like $5,000. I guess he was in for 3, so he still had a decent profit from that. Then he was chasing some other stuff that was just ridiculous, and I don't know how he ended up doing. I saw he hit one bonus for 400, which is nothing because he was playing whatever it was, 375 a spin, super fast playing it. So and then on my way out, I see the same guy from the gaming board, and I stop him and I said, did you hear anything? And he said, yeah, I talked to my boss, and he said that you have the right to refuse being rated, but if they see something they think you're doing something wrong, then they can keep track of it. I said, they can keep track of it, right? But they don't have to put it on my card, right? He said, well, technically you can ask them not to put it on your card, but if they see that you're doing something suspicious. I said, man, I've been coming in here for 10 years, never had a problem. I said, I'm a good guy. I give them my ID at the door. I'm not hiding anything. I said, what reason could they have? And he didn't say anything. He didn't say counting cards or advantage player or anything like that. So he basically said that technically they're not supposed to put me in the system. If they think I'm doing something suspicious, they can track it, but it shouldn't be in my name. So how do I use this information? I don't think I can. There's nothing I can do. So really asking him was probably just to learn something, and probably was not the smartest idea, because it could not have ended in a positive way ever. The most positive thing that could have happened was he said what he did say. The next most positive would have been that yes, they can track you. The next most would be, yeah, they probably think you're doing something wrong, and give me your name. You know, it's like, it wasn't the best idea to talk to him, but my curiosity was just killing me. I wanted to find out what was going on, or if they could even do that. And I was right. Technically, they're not supposed to do that. So anyway, feeling kind of sad right now. There isn't really much for me to do right now. So I am going to go get something to eat, and I may come back to this casino, and then we'll figure things out from there. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. Let me catch you up on what's going on here. This is crazy. I've been pulled over here for 10 minutes on the side of the road doing some work with no cars going by, and as soon as I pull back out, a guy comes up right behind me. All right, anyway, so I stopped and got some food. I asked for like 4 pieces of chicken breast. I got like 5. It was way too much for me to finish. I had some vegetables my wife had packed for me, had some of those, and I have a protein shake here still. I haven't finished yet, and I finished my electrolytes for the day. Feeling good physically, emotionally feeling kind of crappy because I can't play blackjack. I don't know how long it'll be before I can play blackjack again, and that's a big problem for me. And I'm thinking that I may be flying out of town weekly now to a certain spot just to be able to play blackjack, and then other spots every couple of weeks to be able to do other stuff as well. So I'm very disappointed, disheartened, all that stuff. But now we're going to work on sports a little bit more. We're going to work on poker a little bit more. Had a nice little hit today. It doesn't hurt to be a little bit lucky as well. Made a couple bad calls. One worked out, one didn't. But I'm developing my game and getting better, and I know that long term, if I can play poker, I can do it online. You can make millions of dollars online if you're good enough. It's just a matter of going through the process and learning and getting better, and I'm afraid it's going to take me a long time because I don't have the skills right now, and I don't have the time to put into it, and I need to focus more on it if I can. Once tonight's meeting is over, I'll have a lot more time to focus on things, so I'll do that. Another problem, you remember way back about 4 months ago, we took my wife's car in because it had a broken windshield and the door was acting up and all kinds of issues with it. So we go and, man, really, really windy out. I don't know if you can hear that. But, so we took the car in, we got a new windshield for it and everything. And the next day I was driving and a truck had a big rock fall off the truck and hit my windshield, and just above my windshield. It's actually rusted there now, and it cracked my windshield. It was like a 5-inch crack right away. Well, that crack started in the top right corner where the passenger side is, top right corner, and it's now surpassed halfway through the window. So now it's like at a 45-degree angle. It's now 2/3 of the way across the window. And now there's another crack from the center of the window at the bottom, working its way up, and it's only about 2 inches away from meeting the first crack. So now we're going to have to get a new windshield because I'm afraid snow and rain and all this stuff this winter, I'm going to have a problem. I don't know how long this car is going to last, but heck, this car's been doing great. I don't have a single light on. Tires are good. Brakes are good. Everything is good. So I'm going to have to put the money in. Now there's 2 companies that I was referred. One I've used before and one I haven't. I'm going to call both of them in the next week or so and get a price on this windshield thing. I think both of them come out to you and fix it, so we'll get the windshield changed out on this as well. So anyway, I was driving and I had a call from someone at work, a message saying, do you have a minute? I made a big mistake. And I'm like, uh-oh, let me help this guy. So I got on the call and he had made this big mistake, and we import, I do vulnerabilities for operating systems, Java, Corretto, all these different things, and any kind of vulnerabilities they have on that level. He does vulnerabilities inside applications. So if an application is written incorrectly or has a vulnerability in the code somewhere, that's what he scans for. And my vulnerabilities run every day, and they're uploaded every day, and there's changes made every day. There's hundreds of thousands of vulnerabilities. His only has a few thousand, but he has to manually run the scans on these things, and then once a month he manually uploads a spreadsheet that has them all in there into ServiceNow, and he made a mistake and marked a bunch of them to the wrong team. And he's like, I don't know how to fix this. It's assigned to people. It won't let me make a change. And I showed him a small loophole in ServiceNow that if you look at the tables from the right screen, you override the table's permissions. So things that you're not supposed to be able to change, you can change from a certain view, because that view is so far up the chain that it doesn't have a permissions level. And so I showed him how to do that, and he was really relieved. But I pulled over for like 10 minutes talking to this guy, explaining things to him and helping him out, and he's all happy and everything. No cars going by. I pulled over on the side of the exit. I pulled off the road onto an exit there, and I stopped on the exit ramp. And as soon as I turned on the recording and was getting back on the road, someone came right up behind me right away. Kind of crazy. All right, so right now I'm heading toward home. I don't want to, but I don't have a choice. There's no other place. I can't go back to the casino because there's people over there trying to get points today. They're running everything into the ground. I've already played poker for today, and I'm starting to think, when I run into these situations and I've already played Omaha and made my money, maybe then I should do the same thing with the 1-3 or the 2-5 table. 2-5 table might be a little bit aggressive for me, but then again, this 3-3 table plays like a 5-10 no limit, man. It's like $1,000 pots almost every hand. So that's what I'm thinking about doing next time, because usually the Omaha table opens up, we get in there, I hit it within an hour usually, and I get up, and by then people are just then getting off the 1-3 table, and there's no list. The only list at that point becomes people who called in who haven't come in yet. So maybe I can go to the cashier, cash out most of the chips, and go to a lower table, like a no limit table, and get another 100 or 2 out of it that way. The other option would be to get better at Pot Limit Omaha and to get a backbone and try to go for a $1,500 or $2,000 win a day, instead of what I'm doing right now, which is hit and run, and either with skill or with luck and having the right pot odds. So I'm going to consider that as well. So right now we're going to head toward home. I was going to stop at a casino, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go home, get myself centered and in a good position. And today is going to be the last meeting that I have to worry about before the election. I want to make sure all the votes are shored up for the right people. And then after that, things will be easy for a couple of years. I won't have to think about stuff for a couple of years, because there won't be another major election until then. So for now, I'm going to let you go, and we're going to go do this meeting. Let's do our segments real quick. I don't know if I'm going to play tonight or not, but let's do our segments. What did you eat today, MW? I had the chicken breast. It was really good. Cold, but it was good. I give it like 10 or 9. Let's say 9 on a scale of 2 through ace. Well seasoned, beautiful. I had some vegetables and stuff. Those were good. What did you tip today, MW? Today, I think I won 2 hands, and I tipped $1 on each of them, so 2 smackaroos on that, $2 in tips. And what did you learn today, MW? I learned that I'm running out of options very rapidly, and I need to get this thing going right now with the travel, and I need to start like really traveling, like having 3 or 4 or 5 trips on the books at all times. So in the next couple days, we're going to be working really hard to get those trips booked and things ready to go. So I guess, we could pick this up tomorrow. If I play more tonight, I'll add it to tomorrow's episode. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.